Barcelona defeat Real Betis 5-3 at the Estadio de la Cartuja in their 16th La Liga match this season. The best goal difference in La Liga, the most points in La Liga. I think Barca are truly back. And look, people are going to say that was too close at the end. We were winning comfortably and then let go of the ropes. We got to do better. We got to close out games better. And I agree. But still, guys, it's 5-3. Like, we were comfortably winning that game for the majority of it. That was comfortable, man. That was comfortable. We're winning the game for basically every minute apart from when they scored first. But after we equalized, we're comfortable, man. So again, I understand you want to see the game be closed out better. I do too. We should have finished some chances. Defensively, we got kind of sloppy there at the end. Those last two goals were stupid. The penalty and then the corner goal. I get it, okay? So I'm kind of frustrated by that too, because I care about goal difference, and allowing two goals like that, they're cheap, man. You want to have the best goal difference, and Barca still do, but conceding too many goals is not great. So I get it, but still, man, look at the bright side. They got the win. That's all that matters, man. At the end of the day, 3 points is 3 points. So I'm just happy that Barca went in there and got the win against Betis team, by the way, guys. That's a really, really good team. If you watch the Liga, you know Betis are one of the best teams in the Liga. Coming into this game, they hadn't lost in over a month. They were unbeaten in their last 8. They have a great coach, Manuel Pellegrini, who, as we know, has won big trophies. They have a good squad too. So Betis, they are one of the best teams in the league. In the Europa League, they're undefeated. They're a good team. So going in there, beating them 5-3, again, it could have been better at the end, but I'm happy with that. And I think the team today played really, really well. I think today the team played really well in the lineup, man. It was crazy to see that lineup because, I mean, Flick just surprised us out of nowhere. At goalkeeper, obviously, we had Joan Garcia. That's not really a surprise, but at goalkeeper, we had Joan Garcia. Then we had Koundé right back. The back line wasn't a surprise. I'm talking mostly about the midfield and the attack. But anyway, the back line was Koundé right back, Cubarsi and then Gerard Martin, as the two center backs, and then Balde at left back. And in the midfield was Eric Garcia and Pedri. And then the front four, obviously, Olmozale. Lewandowski didn't play. Rafinha still, kind of recovering from his injury. So the front four was Lamine Yamal at the 10, right? Roony Bardi at the right wing position, which I couldn't believe it, seeing Roony get a start. He hadn't played in the last 4 games. He just sat the bench every single minute of the last 4 games. And today he gets a start. So Flick surprises with that. And then Ferran Torres is a striker and Marcus Rashford back in the starting lineup. He hadn't been back in the starting lineup since the international break because obviously Rafinha's back. But now that Rafinha, he's still getting some rest, and I think Flick wants him ready for the game on Tuesday against Frankfurt, he told Rashford to get the start. So I was super excited to see this team in action today because I wanted to see Roony play. I wanted to see how well that worked. I wanted to see Lamine Yamal operate as a 10. And needless to say, guys, it looked really good. I think the game today, the way that Flick set it up, it was beautiful. And obviously, we started off the game losing 1-0, which has happened in 2 games in a row now against Alaves, losing 1-0 against Atletico Madrid, losing 1-0. You don't really want to start every game down 1-0. It reminds me of like Xavi ball. If you guys remember under Xavi, we would always start games down 1-0. Always start games down 1-0, which, puts you behind the 8 ball so early. It sucks. But, like I said, I think Barca, in these past 3 games, after going down 1-0, they've done a great job of responding. And that first goal comes courtesy of Antony, obviously, who's just cooking for them. I mean, obviously, since he left United, everybody that leaves United seems to get better. And then everybody who goes to United seems to get worse, which is kind of crazy. But still, Antony, who's been really, really good for them, he scores that goal. The defense is all over the place. Koundé obviously keeps them on. It's kind of a sloppy goal to concede. Every goal that Barca conceded today was kind of sloppy, and that one, it was just a sloppy goal. The ball's just bouncing around, and Antony gets a foot on it, and it's a really, really good finish. Credit to him, but that was 1-0, like 5 minutes into the game. And like I said, man, I was just not very happy about that, but the sadness didn't last long because Barca responded right away. Again, similar to the way they did against Alaves and Atletico Madrid. They didn't put their heads down. They didn't, feel sorry for themselves. They went out and got that equalizing goal, and that was courtesy of Ferran Torres. And that goal was beautiful, man. That goal from Ferran. It's Lamine to Roony, then Roony to Koundé, and then Koundé to Ferran on that right-hand side. I mean, the combinations of play there were beautiful, man. That is what I like to see. I love seeing that. That was so great. Like, the way that they just played, it was just like a nice little triangle. It was actually insanely good, that goal. Like, the way that Barca set up that goal was beautiful. And the finish from Ferran Torres, running to the near post from that cross from Koundé, it was great, man. I was very, very happy to see that goal go in because, like I said, man, just seeing the play, it was beautiful. Like, the way that just Barca combined. And then literally, like a minute after, Ferran Torres gets a second goal. So Barca go ahead in the span of like a minute. And it was across from Roony, but he was involved for the first goal, obviously, is involved for this goal, has the assist. It's a great cross. And Ferran Torres kind of falling. It's not really a chilena, obviously it's not, but it's more like a horizontal volley. It's just a great goal. It reminded me of the goal that Lewandowski scored against Wolfsburg. If you guys remember that famous game when he came off the bench and had 5 goals in 9 minutes. His last goal of that game, Lewandowski's finish was way better. Like Lewo's finish was ridiculous. It was top corner. Ferran's goes under the keeper's legs, but still the way that he kind of shot that reminded me of that. And the cross too, man. The cross from Roony was beautiful. And we were cooking at that point. Like after I think Barca needed to take. They just need to concede first. It's like a bucket of cold water, so they can kind of wake up. And it's happened, man. So they concede first. Ferran Torres scores a goal. Then he scores another goal. And then from then on, we really took control of that game. I mean, the way that the midfield was playing was beautiful. Eddie Garcia was playing so well. Lamine Yamal operating as a number 10 was beautiful. We got that 4th goal courtesy of Roony, which was it was a great ball from Betis. And then Roony, that finish is ridiculous, man. It's a ridiculous finish. And he had such an amazing game today, man. I'm so happy that he played. It was just beautiful to see. And that goal, man, I'm so happy that he got his goal because, one thing about Roony is that when he's come into these games, like if you remember against Girona and against Olympiacos, when he comes into the game against Olympiacos, he had an assist, if I'm not mistaken. We've seen him. Like, we've all seen Roony play. If you guys have watched Barca, when he comes in, he makes things happen. You know what I mean? So I think every Barca fan was like wondering, why is Flick just leaving him on the bench? This guy's clearly good enough to play. So the fact that he got the start today and proved Flick right and also proved Flick wrong because he hadn't played him in a bunch of games, but also proved him right because Flick trusted him to start. So he said, you know what, you trusted me to start, I'm going to deliver. It's just amazing, man. It's honestly so amazing. So that goal from Roony was beautiful. And then the 4th goal of the half comes courtesy of Ferran Torres. Gets a hat-trick in the half in 45 minutes. Sorry, what the fuck am I talking about? Ferran Torres gets a hat-trick in 45 minutes, which was a good ball from Pedri to him. And then he shoots and Bartra deflects it, so it goes into the back of the net. Not the best goal, but still, it was going on target, so they called it a Ferran Torres goal. And he gets his hat-trick. His second hat-trick against Betis, by the way. He scored that hat-trick in that game back in, it was prime Xavi ball days, back in early 2024. That was that game where we were winning 2-0, and then Isco scored 2 goals to make it 2-2, and then Ferran scored a goal, and Joao Felix scored a goal, and Barca won that game 4-2. But yeah, Ferran Torres, he loves scoring against Betis. Obviously, it's not the Benito Villamarin, so it's not the same stadium where he scored the hat-trick, but still, he loves scoring against Betis, got a hat-trick today. Towards the end of the half, Betis had some chances. Obviously, they had a chance where they hit the side of the net. They had another chance where, I forget who it was, but they beat Cuarcia and then they headed it wide. Anyway, Betis had a good amount, they had a couple chances in that first half, and I think Barca overall, after conceding first, they responded so well. And I think defensively, in that first half, we also played really well. Betis didn't have many, they had a couple chances, like I already mentioned, but didn't have any clear-cut chances, so I think defensively we set up well. And I think it mostly started, not because, our backline was obviously, it was well set up, but I think our press was so good. We're not allowing Betis to kind of get out of their own half. We were pressing really well, just keeping the ball. And that's honestly the best form of defense, is just keeping the ball. The best way to defend is just by having the ball. So I was really pleased with that first half. I think Rashford had a chance. There's a combination that Rashford had with Lamine Yamal. It was great. I really like seeing Lamine Yamal operate as a 10. I think that first half was great. When the second half comes around, Balde came out because he had a problem with his thigh or something. He got hit, so he was obviously in pain in that first half. And then Flick took him out in the second half, and he inserted Christensen into the game and then put Gerard Martin at left back. So we saw that change come in early into the second half, and then in the second half, there was a save by Joao Garcia. There was a couple things that happened, but then the most notable thing that happened early in the second half was the penalty. It's a great play from Rashford, right? It's a great play from Marcus Rashford. He shoots, and the ball hits off Marc Bartra's leg, and then it hits not his armpit. It hits his arm. So his arm is in an unnatural position. It hits his arm. Here's the thing. I've said this 1,000 times. If you guys watch my content, you probably know already what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it again. I don't know what the handball rule is. I don't know what it is, guys. I wish I could tell you, obviously. I wish I could tell you, but I don't know what it is. Because I think some refs are going to give that, but some other refs are not going to give that, and that's not how it should work. Refereeing in football, or offenses in football, shouldn't be up for interpretation most of the time. It should just be black and white. There should be no gray area. With this, there's a gray area, because some refs, if your arm's in an unnatural position, they're going to call a handball even if it hits off another body part first. But some other refs, if it deflects in, no matter where your hand is, if it deflects and it hits your arm, they're not going to call it because it's a deflection. So refs call it differently. Again, I wouldn't call it as a pen. I think it was a cheap pen, but they gave it as a pen. And Barca, like I've said, we haven't had many pens this season. We haven't had many pens. So we got the pen. I wasn't too happy about it, but you know what? Fuck it. We got the pen. And Lamine Yamal converts it beautifully. Really calm, cool and collected. to the left-hand side. The keeper goes the wrong way. And that was, at that point, it was 5-1. We were comfortable. People are going to say, oh, Barca robbed Betis. Bro, we were comfortable. We were comfortable in that game. We were super comfortable in that game. Yes, they had that goal from a corner, which, Cubarsí is kind of tussling with Llorente, and Llorente just beats him to the far post and gets that goal. Koundé gives away a silly foul. You want to see us not do that? Obviously, that's not great. But still, we were comfortable in that game. I'm not going to sit here and act like Betis were robbed. Fuck Betis, bro. They were not going to win this game ever. I don't know why I said fuck Betis. I have nothing against Betis. But my point is, Betis not going to do anything. And yes, they played better towards the end, but that's because they thought they had a chance. But they never really had a chance. Now, let's talk about some of the players. Joao Garcia obviously concedes 3 goals. One of them was a penalty. The second goal. And, look, I don't want to see Joao Garcia concede 3 goals, but I think overall his play was good today. Had a couple big saves. And his sweeping ability was really good as well. So, I was happy with the way Joao Garcia played overall. Obviously, coming out of his net, he makes me very comfortable. I wish that there was a moment there where he came out of his net and he landed weird in his knee. I don't know, I feel like his knee twisted weird, but luckily he's fine. But anyway, you don't want to see him do that too much because he could possibly get injured. But I think Joao Garcia overall today played a really, really good game. Our right back, Jules Koundé. Obviously, Koundé gave away the pen. He kept the man on side for the first goal. I'm not going to sit here and act like it was a flawless Koundé performance, but I'm also not going to say that it was one of his worst games this season. Again, giving away a pen and keeping a man on side for the first goal. It's not great. Obviously, it wasn't vintage Koundé. Going forward, he had a lot of good moments, though. I'll tell you that. He had the assist, which, he made up for that, keeping the man on side right away because he had the assist. So, I think Koundé, when I'm looking at his game, he did obviously some great things with the assist. He did some not so good things. But I think overall, I was pretty happy with Koundé. Cubarsí, I was happy with Cubarsí as well. I wasn't super happy. I don't think it's the same Cubarsí from last season. Again, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm throwing him under the bus. Sue me. You know what I mean? Sue me anyway. But Cubarsí, he obviously, he had the moment where for the second goal, in the corner, he kind of lets his man beat him to the far post. But I think Cubarsí today played a decent game. His playing out from the back is always good. And I think he made a couple big tackles. So I'm not going to shut on Cubarsí today that he had a decent game. Way better than the game that he had against Atletico Madrid. I can tell you that. I can promise you that. So I wasn't too upset about Cubarsí's play today. Gerard Martin, I think, played well, especially as a left center back. He looks so good as a left center back, man. That is his position. I wish Balde would have gotten hurt, obviously because I never want to see any player get hurt, but also because I wish Balde could have stayed in the game so we could have seen Gerard Martin play the whole game at left center back, because I actually really liked the way he played. And then when Christensen came into the game, I thought Christensen played well too. He had a tackle, which was so unlucky because he had a tackle that just led to a Betis chance, which, I don't know if you guys remember that play, but he made a couple big tackles. I think defensively, Christensen is really, really good. He's just never fit, but I think every single Barca center back today played well. At left back, Balde played the first half. I think Balde looked good. And then when Gerard Martin filled in for him, honestly, I think Gerard Martin, I like him better as a left center back, but at left back, I didn't think he looked too bad. In the midfield, Pedri was amazing, bro. He was amazing. He had a pass to Lamine Yamal in that second half that should have been a Lamine Yamal goal because Barca missed 2 clear one-on-ones in that second half. Lamine Yamal and Marcus Rashford both missed clear one-on-ones, but that pass was from Pedri for that chance. And he also had the assist to Roony. Pedri is insane, man. This guy comes back, and it's just ridiculous. It's insane how good he is. The way he can control a game, the way that he plays these passes. He sees the game, he sees it differently to everybody else. It's so Xavi-esque in a way because he's just so aware of his surroundings and he knows when to press and he knows what pass to play constantly. It's just insane. Eddie Garcia, man. Eddie Garcia is playing some great football at CDM, man. I was really happy with the way that Eddie played. I thought his playing out from the back was great. Now, also, I think Gerard Martin's playing out from the back was great. Also, in that first half, he played a couple good line-breaking passes. But anyway, Eddie Garcia, I was happy with the way he played. Honestly, I was. Rashford at left wing, he didn't score today. Should have had a goal off a pass from Frankie de Jong. He should have had a goal off a pass from Frankie de Jong. He didn't get the goal, but it was a stupid finish, by the way. It was a really, really bad finish. He kind of overthought it. He was so open. It's just some footballers, when they're so open and the goal is just so easy, they kind of overthink it. I think Rashford just overthought it and just shot it wide. So I wish he could have gotten that goal, but he got himself in some good positions today, played some good combination play, had some good combination play with Lamine Yamal and Pedri, I think he had some good moments, honestly. I thought he was explosive today. I was really happy with the way that Rashford played. Again, wish he could have gotten a goal, but seeing him start when he hasn't been a starter for a minute, he's still maintaining that level. So I was happy with the way that Rashford played, honestly. Ferran Torres had obviously 3 goals, so you can't say anything bad about him. He had 3 goals and a half. The second half, it was a little bit quieter, but still, Barca basically had that game put away. So, Ferran did his job today, man. We complain that he doesn't score chances. He misses too many chances. Today, he scored 3 goals. So, I'm not going to complain about that. Lamine Yamal, as a 10, was fantastic. He was so good as a 10. I think he felt so comfortable in that role. He's just such an amazing player, bro. He's so intelligent. I think Lamine Yamal works anywhere, bro. Honestly, if you could put him at striker, you wouldn't put him at striker because you take away a big part of his game, the best part of his game, in my opinion, which is playmaking. But I think Lamine Yamal could work anywhere across the front four. So today, seeing him play as a 10 and the way that he was able to open up space for Roony on the right-hand side, It was just amazing, bro. That guy, he could be a 10 at some point in his career, just like Messi. Messi, played right wing. He played as a 10. Messi was mostly a 10, obviously. And Messi wasn't as big as Lamine Yamal, pause. But anyway, I was happy with the way Lamine Yamal played. He obviously had a goal. He had the penalty, which, good to see that because, he actually scores his pens unlike Lewandowski. And then, obviously, Roony, I talked about him a lot in that first half. I went on a tangent about Roony. You guys all thought it was great. The subs, Bernal and Lamine Yamal wanted to punch him in the face, bro. If you guys saw that, Lamine Yamal, I don't know if they're beefing or something, but Lamine Yamal wanted to punch Fermin Lopez in the face. There's not a single thing that Fermin Lopez did in that game that Lamine Yamal didn't complain about. So, and I don't blame him because Fermin Lopez had selfish moments. He shanked the shot. He had weird touches. So, I understand Lamine Yamal's frustration, but maybe something happened between the two of them. Obviously, I'm kidding. I'm not trying to stir anything up, but Lamine Yamal was not happy with the way that Fermin played. So, and I wasn't happy with the way Fermin played either. He obviously came back from injury. I don't think it was a good game from him. Bernal, guys, look, I like some of the things he does, but lost the ball a couple times, had a couple sloppy passes. I think Bernal needs to just ease his way into games a little bit, and this is good for him. Getting into minutes like this against a good team when you're already winning, it's good. It helps build his confidence. But if we want to see Bernal be the successor to Busquets, which I have to make this real fucking quick because I need to go watch that game. It's already started, bro. Anyway, if we want to see Bernal be the successor to Busquets, he's got to be better. But yeah, who else came on? Joffre came on. Christensen, like I said already, that played well. I don't think Joffre did much. Why am I talking like this? I don't think Joffre did much, but it's good to see him get some minutes. And yeah, man, I'm happy with the win. I think Barca, obviously now first place in the Liga. We got Frankfurt on Tuesday, so we'll see how that game goes. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Shout out to everybody who saw my YouTube short yesterday and, supported that. I'm really happy that you guys like him, and I cannot wait to actually have that, have rate him available so I can do match ratings here with you guys and see your opinion on games and see all that stuff. It's going to be great. I'll announce more about that when it's closer to release date. I just wanted to give you guys a sneak preview now. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for all the support. I love every single one of you, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace out.